What's up, guys? I recently ordered something. And as you can see, it's one of those fake Legend of Zelda edition these Lite shells. But it does look quite nice. And the quality is not too bad. So I thought maybe that's a fun idea to make a video about, because I just gotta have a working guess with this shell. I mean, they're really quite cheap to get, and I just went ahead and purchased it. I couldn't resist. So here we have all the plastic parts and the screws and stuff. I basically bought a DS that had a broken shell with this little part right here. There we go. The DS Lite had this part right here, which holds the hinge, which is this thing that went in like so. And yeah, that breaks sometimes if this gets gunged up or something similar, which happened to a lot of DS's. And then it broke. So that's basically what I bought. It still works, so I'm basically going to be transferring over all the parts into this case, which sounds like fun to me, but it's not all nice and easy if you buy something from China, of course. This is not too expensive, so it's not going to be too great. First thing I did was swap over this little stylus thingy, this plastic holder for the stylus. As you can see, there we go. It holds a gold stylus, and I had to repaint it a little bit because I felt like it. I thought, it's pretty nice maybe if I just sand it a little bit down, make it a little bit smoother, and well, take that opportunity to repaint it in a different color to make it stand out a little bit. I quite like that. Maybe you don't, but I think it looks pretty nice. It goes in quite smoothly. It was not too easy. You have to tighten the screws in a particular way. So you make sure that they're not too tight, but also not too loose, because otherwise this goes up and down way too much and it looks kind of shady if you look from this side and it goes up and down way too much. So you have to kind of do that, some mechanical tweaking. But I've done that off camera because I'm a little bit of a perfectionist when it comes to making stuff. If I make something, it's gotta be great, or else it's not good enough. I will start with the top screen. So the first thing that I will do is get the screen, right? So this is the upper screen with the little speakers. So I might speed up some of this footage because obviously this is gonna take a little while. So we've got the tiniest little electret microphone. As you can see, it's very tiny and has this little rubber thing around it. It's really hard to show. It's so tiny. Well, that's what you gotta get in here. There, in this tiny little front thingy. But first, what I would suggest is get this little flex cable through, and it's kind of coiled up, and through there you can put these little like, I don't know what these are, these kind of antenna wires actually, but this is not an antenna. I'm not quite sure what they're called, but a good idea, I think. As you can see, maybe, I've got it through. It's kind of tricky, but I did it, so that's good. You don't want to forget about your little antenna for multiplayer and all that kind of stuff, because that's fun and we don't want to miss out on that. Don't limit yourself. that's not good. So, we put that in there, kind of wiggly, and well, that's not gonna stay. So we're just gonna put it through this coil that we made. Kind of tricky. Now putting this one through is kind of like this. And then like this. That kind of falls into place. Alright, so that's the screen kind of done. I need 2 little tapes to keep this wire in neatly. And then we can get this top thing and kind of click it on, screw it in, and that's the top portion done. Which is kind of the trickiest one in some ways, and also, yeah, to me that's the trickiest one, and we're kind of done with it almost. Alright, so, I got some tape on here, a little bit of double-sided tape, but I left a little paper, like, I don't know what it's, the protective paper, film, whatever it is, on the back on. Why not? Should work. And then we need to get this part on without messing everything up again, which is gonna be hard for me because I apparently am good at messing things up. I'm going to put this on quite gently. Way too gently. Probably. Oh, wait, I got it. Now you'll notice this looks horrible. That's okay, we've got one of those. We got one of these pack, this pack, I mean, we've got this pack of thingies that we stick on there to protect the screen and make this look a lot nicer. So we do that at the very end, because if we have to take it apart again, well, we mess it up, so that's not good. We don't want that. I'm going to be using original screws that I took from the DS that I took apart. So I'm just gonna be screwing these in very slowly and gently, because these are plastic screws in plastic that has not been screwed into yet, so we have to be very careful. Now we have this bottom thingy, and we're gonna have to put it completely together. We've got a little baggie, and it has, oh, there we go. It has these things in it, right? These L and R buttons. We've got, very important, this little thing for the status LEDs, which are here, which will go here, I mean. But we need to put in this tiny little, actually I don't know what it is. This is a little piece of clear plastic, and it goes in a specific orientation. I've got one here from the gray DS that I bought, and it is not messed with. And the tiny little things that stick up go this way, so here you've got the hole for the hinge, and this way are the little things that stick up, and here there's a tiny little groove. I don't think it will make that much of a difference, but if you want to do it as good as possible, you have to do it that way. I can take out the original one. I've put in the original one of the original DS that I had from Nintendo, and it looks just a tiny bit better. Just a tiny bit. So yeah, I'm gonna be using that one. It doesn't really matter, but... So here's the screen. And this is a little bit tricky to show, but we have to put through this hole, we put these tiny little antenna wires, whatever they are, microphone wire. We have to put them through, and I don't know which one this is. I think antenna, maybe. Yeah, the black wire isn't working very well. There we go. Got it through. And now I've got this slot over here, which I already showed, if I'm right, in my video that I did about repairing my sister's DS. That slot is to put this flex connector through, which is an absolute nightmare to do on camera. As you can see, there's a little slot for the flex connector, and I can't do this on camera, so do it off camera. So now it's time to figure out which way the hinge is located, and I think this is now in closed position. So we put it in the closed position, of course. And I don't know how to do that, apparently. There we go. Got it in. And now we put in the screws like so. Well, I'm going to have to figure out how to do this on my own. Okay, right, maybe this one. No, that one is even worse. Okay, right. I'll see how I put the screws in. These holes have obviously been made to a specific length. And these screws are a little bit too long, so I'm gonna make sure they fit nicely by just screwing it in very gently, or drilling it out a little bit. I don't know, we'll have to see. But it's gonna take a little bit. As you can see, I drill it a little bit too far, and I still can't get the screws in, and it's just not working. So I've got an idea. This one can go to the other side. Here we go. Now we take this, we kind of rough this a little bit up, and I'm going to paint it with just some gold paint that I have, with which looks like this over here. It's a bit different, and I'm going to take this and I'm going to paint this the same color, so it will be gold like so, and that should look pretty neat. And on top of that, I'm going to put some transparent stuff to make sure it doesn't wear off, which should make it nice and solid. Which does mean that I'm going to have to take this apart, and it does mean it's going to take a lot longer, but life never goes exactly the way you want it, and same goes for projects. They don't just happen. You have to be very innovative. I like the idea to make it a little bit different than the standard ones, because this is fake. This is not real Nintendo special edition one. This is the Cal special edition one, right? So it has to be a bit different than the Nintendo one. But I do really like this little accent over here, and as you can see, this paint is kind of the same color, almost. Comes very close. It's a bit darker. It's not completely the same, but that's okay. And I think that is a good idea. So I'm going to go and try that now in order to save this project. Because, you know, when I do projects, you know, they just all go wrong, and when somebody else does them, they all seem to go completely fine in one go. Alright, so I've done some work, and it's the next day, obviously, because, you know, paint takes a little while to dry. And as you can see, this is kind of the same color as this over here. And I think it looks quite beautiful. Nintendo could have done that themselves if they thought to add a little bit more of this. Would not have been a bad idea. So I'm pretty sure we can start building the DS. So I've got the little motherboard here, and I've got the lower screen, and oh, well, wait a minute. No, we need buttons first, don't we? We do. So I almost forgot about the buttons. Great. Radio. So we've got this little baggie. I put everything back in the bag because, well, kind of hard to keep track of everything. here you can see there's a little square in the middle, and this one has a little circle. Right, so this is a little square, and this has a little circle-ish thing. So this one goes on top of there, and this one goes on top of there. There you go. And this one doesn't really matter. These are just buttons like that. Of course, another screen. Yes, we gotta put that in. So we just put that in here. Maybe want to clean it a little bit. There we go. That one's in. Very important. There you go. This tiny little thingy for the touchscreen digitizer. Pretty good. Right, so you can see this. Now we have to connect this upper screen thingy to this upper screen flex cable thingy, which I obviously can't do on camera because that's way too hard. So yeah, I'm sorry, but this will go off camera. Okay, I think I got it. So now this one, oh, there we go. Whoop. This one kind of goes like so. And the other one, well, doesn't. Like this, does it? Ah, no, okay. So they both go like this. Like this, alright. First off, we just start off doing it like this. Okay, and this one is, I think, antenna. So this one goes underneath this little card slot thingy, and this one goes underneath the motherboard, which is the microphone. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the microphone, this white one. The black one is for the multiplayer and all that kind of stuff. I don't know if that was in shot or not, but I kind of did it like so. Kind of want to bring this over here. My fingers are too big. By the way, guys, at this point in the video, I've got enough ad revenue already. So, actually, I'm joking. I don't get any money from YouTube. Don't really care that much. But if you break one of these, I have a video on how to fix them. So, if you care, you know, or if you're following along and you broke it, you can fix it. But I'm telling you now, don't break it. It's not fun. It's not fun at all. This is a question to Apple. Why is it that my DS Lite has a headphone jack, but the iPhones don't, right? Right, so I found another little thing that we can do. There's just this tiny screw here, and it's just a bit gold colored, but it falls out and I don't like it, so you know what I'm gonna do. So here's the original one, and I'm gonna steal the original screw. Right, next. Right, so now it's time to get this tiny black wire underneath here, and that shouldn't be too hard, but I don't know. Your house might collapse while you're doing this because it's not too easy. Wow, and I did it on my first try. Okay, well, most of the time. I don't know, where should this one go, by the way? Like this? I'm pretty sure it should go like that, yeah. Okay, so this one is very important. If you lose this one, your DS isn't gonna start up, because this one is not only for Wi-Fi, you know, connection. This one also contains on this side your ROM chip. Kinda, you know, it's basically it contains the operating system. You know, it's not much of an operating system, but it does contain that of the DS Lite. So you kind of mess around, and there we go. Stick it on. I protected the little sticky pad with a little piece of scotch tape. So now we've got these R and L buttons, and basically do just like I did in my previous video about the DS. You kind of have to position it. I don't know, this only works on the original ones maybe, I don't know. Having nails really makes this easier. There we go. Got it. And now, okay, there you go, I got it. Now I gotta figure out where it should go. So this is right, so that's this one here. Yes, I was right about that. No, okay, it's not funny, I need stuff. There we go. Seems to work. For now at least. Unless you have it, you know, until you have it back together, it's not gonna work. So this one should go like so. Before I close this up, I want to spray some of that contact spray in there, you know. But yeah, I got German contact spray or something, right? And I want to get some in here, and a bit in the buttons, so that's not gonna cause any issues. So I'm gonna do that off camera, and then I'm basically gonna put it back together completely. So yeah, we'll see you in a bit. Alright, so yeah, it was quite tedious, but I have everything back together, as you can see. You can see these little rubber feet and this little battery. Everything is in there, as you can see. Little circuit board. And it's working. It was quite tedious because not everything works quite well, as you would expect from a Lite shell. But I did get it back together. I had to do some things with, like over here, this little button. There was this tiny thing, rod, that went through this thing to work as a hinge, right? That didn't fit in the bottom shell because, I don't know, it's just some crappy mold they used. But I did get it back together, and it works. This is one of my favorite games that I used to play a lot. Copyright music, maybe, I don't know. Nintendo is really quite, you know, striking down people with playing their games and stuff. I mean, they used to, but I don't know. As you can see, it works quite well. And like this, these buttons work. Apparently this one stopped working. Okay, well, that's great. Yep, rightio. So this button stopped working now. That's the... Oh my god. Well, yeah. So, yeah. It worked yesterday, but now it doesn't. So I'll get some contact spray in there then, a little bit more. Because I had some issues with boards, right? I had two boards eventually because problems with DS, and this board I haven't given that a good spray, so now this button doesn't work, and I thought I may have done that, but yeah, I don't know. I made a mess of this project, but I'll get some contact spray in there, and as you can hear, that works perfectly fine. This little button slider thingy for the volume. No cracking noises. And this power button works. I'm not gonna do that now because, you know. But okay, other than that button, I'll get that button cleaned. Other than that, as you can see, it works quite well. These buttons all work. As you can see, I'll get some gameplay for you going. You can see these work, and you have these buttons, which I never use in Mario, but they do work, I think. Yep, there we go. These work. You can run like this. Yeah, okay. I'm used to the YB combination because, I don't know, I just preferred that. Yeah, it works quite well, as you can see. Oh, that was wow, that was bad. These buttons all work. I'm really doing a terrible job of, oh my god. Okay, well, but you get the point. It works. And the hinge is fine. It looks beautiful, I think. It looks quite well. It looks really nice in person, so give that button a good clean then. Because you can get it back to life with some contact spray. It shouldn't be too expensive. It's not cheap, but it's not too expensive. And yeah, it charges. That's very important. You have the charge port, right? And there, right on the board, is a tiny little filtering coil thingy called the EM10, right? And you can break it off really easily with the shell not being really properly made. So you have to be very careful because I did on one board and on this one as well. So now I had to fix it, and I did, but the other one is still broken. You can learn from my mistakes, and don't do this unless you're in for a project, because this is not a simple and easy swap. I put quite a lot of effort into this, and it's quite great, actually, to me. It's just Man, exhausting. Anyways, if you guys like this video, be sure to hit that like button. Or don't, I don't really care. But no, in all seriousness, if you like this video, give it a like if you feel like it. And maybe subscribe, I don't know. And I'll just hope to see you in my next video. Bye guys.